Hello, and welcome to the series. This is the place where we take on the impossible task of guarding the best basketball players on planet Earth. Warning: guarding the best leads to getting dunked on, getting dropped, and other forms of humiliation. It's no fun job, but somebody has to do it. Why not us? In these videos, we'll take a look at player tendencies. First, we take an analytics look through shot charts. Then, we break down film and see how these players get their shots and how coaches design actions for them to get to their spots. Finally, we tackle the task of how to guard. Today's task is going to be Damian Lillard. If you watched last week's video of Steph Curry, and you take a look at this shot chart, you might notice they're almost identical. Both players like to shoot a lot of threes. Both players can get to the rim. Both players don't take too many shots in the mid-range. That being said, let's break down Lillard's offense into the three levels. 54% of his shots are coming from beyond the arc. 12% of his offense is happening in the mid-range. And he gets to the rim 34% of the time. If we look into his efficiency numbers in these areas, we see Lillard is a 39% three-point shooter, more than a respectable shooting percentage, especially for someone who shoots as many deep threes as he does. Lillard shoots 45% in the mid-range area, and when he gets to the rim, he finishes at a 56% rate. Again, similar to Steph, both are very modern day point guards. Lots of threes, still get to the rim, and still able to finish amongst the trees when they get there. If we look a little further into the shot chart, we can see, unlike Steph, who favored the sidelines a little more because he liked to get off ball, hover around the wings, in the corners, let his teammates make the plays for him. Dame is more of a ball handling playmaker. He likes to create his own shot. He likes to get his own rhythm. So he'll take more pull-ups and pull-backs and step backs. He'll come off of ball screens a little more, shooting his threes. His three-point numbers are a little more spread out. He doesn't really have a preference. If we look at these numbers, a good assist to turnover ratio, making more than double as many plays as he is turning the ball over. Not much more you can ask from guards. Lillard does have a good ability to draw fouls. We see he's drawn 108 fouls this season. It's a high number. And when you compare it to some of the other superstars in the league, it's up there. So to summarize, Lillard is a modern day point guard. Lots of threes coming from him. Still able to get to the rim and finish when he gets there. Solid playmaker with a good assist to turnover ratio. And he's got an ability to draw fouls. That's what the numbers tell us. Good little overview of the player. Give us a little window into his shots. But as we know, after this, we got to break down some film. We got to get some context into these numbers. We got to figure out how he's getting these shots. We got to figure out why he's getting these shots and when he's getting these shots. So that's what we're going to do next. With his combination of athleticism, quickness, and shooting ability, all Dame needs is a ball screen. But he's a dangerous man coming off ball screens. It all starts with his timing, coming off just as the screener arrives. Perfect timing is the key to it all. He never leaves too early. He never leaves too late. He comes off just as the screener pops his feet, leaving his defender in the dust. The other thing that makes Lillard so effective is he's shoulder to shoulder on his screens every time. There's not even a centimeter of space for his defender to squeeze through, so he doesn't have to worry about him. Sorry, Harrison. He gone. With his defender left to wrestle with the screener, Dame can turn his focus on what to do with the hedge man. This is a simple decision. Should I stay or should I go? Let's take a deep look at just how Lillard makes this decision. Pay attention to his eyes. Unless he's cross-eyed, you might notice he's not looking at his defender. That's because, as I mentioned before, he doesn't have to worry about him. The screener is going to take care of him. No, what Dame is looking at is the hedge man, this guy. And what he sees is space. Space between him and the screen. This tells Dame that when he comes tight off this ball screen, he can use his shooting range and pop a three. Let's take another look. What do you see? Again, space. What do you think he's going to do? Shoulder to shoulder leaves Andrew Wiggins clobbered by the screen. It's a legal one, and it's another open three. Now you might be thinking, the hedge man needs to step up, take away that shot, but it's not that easy. Remember, Damian Lillard has elite level quickness. Now when Dame takes his look, he sees the hedge man is hugging the screen. There's no space to rise up. But this is the rim protector. Now there's no 7-footer standing under the basket blocking shots. No, he's at the three-point line, expected to stay in front of one of the quickest players in the NBA. How do you think that's going to turn out? A dangerous scorer like Lillard is obviously going to attract a lot of attention. Unfortunately for the defense, Dame is happy to share the wealth. As Lillard comes off this screen, he sees both defenders attracted to him. He knows there's nothing for him. But attracting these two guys has left Kanter open. And if Melo makes this pass like he wants to, Kanter probably has an open layup. Now, let's take a look at how the Blazers staff gets Dame his looks. Like I mentioned before, Lillard doesn't need much, just space and timing, and he'll make it happen. A simple ball screen with the floor space will give Dame what he needs to make his plays. With the Ram ball screens, the Blazers will send someone to screen for the screener, trying to get that space Lillard is looking for so that he can decide whether he wants to pull up for three or blow by the hedge man as his momentum is taking him this way. With the drag screens, the Blazers are trying to catch the defense asleep as the possession is still transitioning. These pitchback actions give Lillard momentum flying off the screens, leaving his defender really irrelevant, and then he can focus on how to attack the hedge man. Now for the $1 million question. How do you guard such a dynamic player? A tough task, of course. This is one of the best players in the NBA after all. But there are some things you can throw at him, try to get him out of his rhythm. I noticed the Raptors and Kings try to disrupt the ball screens by icing them. For those that don't know, Icing is essentially not allowing the ball handler to come off the screen. As the ball screen approaches, Dame's defender will jump on his high side, forcing him away from the screen. The hedgeman will then drop in order to control Dame if he decides to drive. Again, as the screen approaches, notice VanVleet's feet. He's almost parallel with the sideline. He's trying to open up this driving lane away from the screen. And with the Raptors' heavy help, Freddie knows that the drive will be covered. Icing ball screens is a good way to get Dame out of his rhythm, especially if he's on the wings. It'll keep him out of the middle where he's really effective. But there's nothing stopping the Blazers from making adjustments and just re-screening the other way. The other problem is you can't really ice flat ball screens. They're flat. Dame has the choice to go either way. Also, the surprising nature of drag screens can make it difficult for the hedgeman to get over and control that drive. My suggestion would be to have Dame's defender dodge the screens. The tendency can be to try to squeeze through that little gap and blow up the screen, but with the Blazers, their bigs are just too good. You're just gonna get stuck. If you dodge the screen and follow Lillard's path around the screen, you can give Dame a contest from behind. This will also allow the big man to give up some space, drop back, and help him with staying in front of Lillard on his drives without having to worry about him popping a three in his face.
Robinson on Lillard.
That's a moving screen.
You heard one of the Kings yell out, "That's a moving screen" on Nurkic. Lillard getting to the basket, partially tipped. Nurkic couldn't get the rebound, and here's...
The Blazers' bigs can get away with some moving screens. Not all the time. They're actually really good at setting good, strong screens. But if I was coaching against the Blazers, I'd put some pressure on the refs. Make sure they don't get away with any, especially if you're going to guard like this. Ref, how do you not see that? Well, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you learned something about Damian Lillard today. If you enjoyed this analysis and now you feel like you can hold Damian Lillard to 0 points, give the video a like. If you want to see more player analysis like this in the future, subscribe. Hopefully I can get a new player out every week or two until we run out of people to guard.
I'm slam dunk champion. Blazers get the tip. 5 seconds left. Covington trying to get it to Dame. He puts it on the floor. Step back three from Dame. Oh!